Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of This Week on iRacing and welcome to the Bathurst 12 hour. And can I just say how relieved I am that we don't have any rain for this year's Bathurst 12 hour. Now the only reason I'm saying that, because normally I quite like a bit of rain in an endurance race, spices things up a little bit. But if you cast your mind back, boys and girls, to last year and what an absolute, well, I don't want to say it out loud, but you know, it was bad. It was really, really bad. It was catastrophically bad. The rain was just horrific. It really was. Even had blotches of red rain. It was basically undrivable. It completely kind of ruined the event. So it seems like this year they've just done the opposite and made it completely dry. Now, I don't mind that too much. It is Bathurst. It's difficult enough as it is, but yeah. Let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, there wasn't any rain at Bathurst this year, so I don't know. It's 50-50. Now, quickly talking about the rain whilst we're on the subject, it's pretty much cloudy throughout the whole thing. So I don't know, weather-wise, whether we're going to get the, you know, the traditional 50+ degrees of track temperature in Celsius, of course. So I don't really know if we're going to get that because it's quite cloudy throughout the whole event. It's quite overcast. So I don't know what kind of track temperatures we are going to get. Now, for anybody who is new around here or new to iRacing and hasn't done the Bathurst 12 hour before, doesn't know much about it, it is a event we do every year, 12-hour race, GT3s only, and it always starts in darkness, but it doesn't stay dark for too long. The in-game sim time, I think, once you load into the session, is about 5 minutes past 5 in the morning, and then I think about 5:40, 5:45 a.m. That's when the race actually starts. That's when the green flag goes, that's when you start rolling. So that's when the actual race will start. Now, interestingly, for the first time in a special event on iRacing, there is a DQ limit after the whole Daytona debacle, where a team managed to rack up, what was it, 600, 700, 800 incident points, something ridiculous like that. They have, after feedback, and fair play to them, decided to add a DQ limit. And I am all for it because, let me tell you, if at Bathurst, right, if you are getting 150 instant points, which is the DQ limit for this race, by the way, you fully deserve to get DQ'd. And I know that might seem controversial, but at Bathurst, you don't really get off tracks. You don't really get them. You get the wall or nothing. That's it. So if you're getting 150 instant points, you fully deserve to get DQ'd. And again, you let me know in the comments what you think about that. But in my opinion, 150 for an event like this is fine. Now, if there was a track where it was easy to get off tracks, like, I don't know, Daytona bus stop or something, maybe you might say that's a little bit harsh. But somewhere at Bathurst 12 hour has to be done. 150. I'm really, really glad iRacing have introduced that. So thank you very, very much for that indeed. Now, entry time slots, as always, are the same. For any special event, you know, main slot about 12 p.m. GMT. I think there's a 4 p.m. GMT. There's one earlier than that, and there's one on a Friday night as well. All the information about the event you can actually find on the forum itself, which I will leave a link in the description below. Now, the BOP for this event, remember, is an initial BOP. It always changes. I know they say they might not change it, but let's be honest, they always do. They will take the data from the GT Sprints this week and make a decision on that. Now, I'll pop it on the screen for you now, the BOP. Now, the one thing I will take from this event, actually, no, two things. When it comes to Bathurst, the air is very thin. So, turboed cars always seem to do well. Now, the BOP is there to basically go against that, so that, you know, cars with turbos kind of get more of a power bop, and it's kind of what you see here as well. But the second thing as well is the fuel, and one thing I want to take from this is everything's kind of had a fuel bop, and I assume that's to stop it from getting to the hour mark. But one thing I immediately saw from this bop is the fact the Ford Mustang has 100% fuel, and if you look at the other cars, they're quite harshly bopped, some down to just 96% of fuel, and 4% is quite a lot. It's quite a lot of fuel, so yeah, I don't know what the thought process is behind that. Listen, they can see data that we can't, so they must think the Mustang, you know, just drinks fuel, absolutely drinks fuel. But I don't know, it seems like the Mustang right at this moment in time, if you can get it to work, has a distinct advantage with that bop. Very strange for me, but yeah, maybe that will be adjusted. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure that will change, because I don't think that can stand. Maybe even to reduce it to 99% or something, but 100%? I think that's a little bit too strong, and I think teams will be looking at that, because strategy-wise, I think that might be a really good way to go, because you could potentially hit the hour mark in the Mustang far easier than you could say something like the Ferrari, or something along those lines. But yeah, that's the Bathurst 12-hour this weekend, and best luck to all of those involved. No rain to worry about. Race next 12 hours, starts in the morning. Let's talk about the GT Sprint, which will have the BOP for the whole week. Okay, let's quickly talk about the GT Sprint Series and the GT3 Fixed. Of course, they do follow each other in terms of what track they go to, and of course, they're going to go to Bathurst this week. And of course, they are going to have the BOP applied. So what does that mean? It means the BOP that is going to be running for the Bathurst 12-hour is going to be applied in these sessions. So you're going to start off this week with that affecting all the cars. The only fingers crossed you do, sometimes for the first, day, sometimes it's happened a few times where it's not actually applied, but fingers crossed this time it will be. And what you need to know about the GT Sprint and the Fixed is that it is overcast conditions again, so this is more leading towards my theory that the track temperature is going to be quite low, so it's not going to be really, really hot. Something that we're probably used to by now. So yeah, we don't have to worry about the track temperature too much because of the overcast conditions. When you're in the race, I think it's going to start about mid to low 20 degrees Celsius, so pretty damn low, to be honest, considering what we're expecting. In-game start time as well is 12 p.m. Now, the Sprint and the Fixed also have no chance of rain. Expect many people to sign up for this event, not just the Bathurst 12-hour, but the Sprint and the Fixed, to get as much prep in as they can for the weekend. Normally, when it's a special event like Bathurst, the GT Sprint stuff is packed, so you're going to see super high softs, loads of splits, and you're going to see lots of crashes up the mountain, so you're going to get used to that. Now, if there's any event I would advise you to get right in terms of qualifying, it is this one. Qualifying, without a doubt, is a bit of a meme on my channel because I can't qualify to save my life. So it's rich coming from me, but if you can, do practice your qualifying, which is not something I normally recommend because an endurance race is all about, surviving really and just being the best and most consistent over a long period, over a long stint. But qualifying here really is important because it is so difficult to move your way from the back to the front. So if you start from the pits or at the back, by the end of lap 1, you're going to be like 30 seconds behind the leader. And the problem with that is the leader's got clean air and you have to get past all the traffic and you're only going to be as fast as them. So the leader, by the time you've got past all the traffic, the leader's probably going to be like a minute and a half ahead of you, if that, maybe more. So yeah, I mean, start from pits could be the safer option for you, but do remember as well, if there's a crash at the top of the mountain, you start from the pits, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck behind as well, so it'll make it even worse. So yeah, I would always recommend in this, start where you are and just fingers crossed that no one crashes in front of you. But yeah, just try your best to qualify as high as you can because it does make a big difference. But anyways, yeah, like I said, Sprint at Bathurst, no chance of rain, starts midday, track temperature's nice and low because it's overcast conditions. BOP will be applied, and yeah, best of luck. It's going to be sweaty out there, but do your best. I'm sure you'll be fine, and all the best for this weekend's Bathurst 12-hour. All right, next up, let's talk about the Porsche Cup Series, the Open and the Fixed. And as you can see on your screens, there's a chance of rain this week. Now, the Porsche Cup Series is heading to Sebring this week, and the Fixed Series has a 45% chance of rain. So the Fixed Series, it's going to get spicy, really spicy indeed. So make sure you bring, make sure you bring your umbrellas because you're going to need them for the Fixed. 45% chance tends to be, it's not quite 50%, but on iRacing, for some reason, it feels like it's more like 60 or 70% when it's 45% chance of rain. So who knows? Also, just because it's 45% chance of rain doesn't mean it hasn't rained before the start of the session because we don't get access to that information until it goes live on the UI. So do keep an eye on that. It might always start wet, but a 45% chance of rain during the actual race itself. So do remember that. Now, the race itself starts midday, and because of the weather, the track temperature is going to be low. So low 20 degrees Celsius. So it's not something you're really going to have to worry about too much. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the Porsche Cup Series, to be honest with you. Not really much else to talk about. I think the in-game start time is about 12:40 p.m. So kind of just past midday. But Porsche Cup fans, you're at Sebring this week. I think it'll be popular, but what's going against it is the Bathurst 12 hour this week, obviously, and the fact there's a 45% chance of rain in fixed, and the rain does kind of put people off. So we'll see how this week goes. Okay, next up, let's talk about the IMSA series, shall we? So the IMSA Open, the IMSA Fixed, and of course there is a 6 hour this weekend. And this week we are going to Interlagos. Now, I always say this every time we talk about Interlagos, but it has to be up there, one of the best tracks in the world, because I tell you what, I feel like any car can race here, and it is just good racing. I don't know how this track does it, but whenever you race here, no matter what you pick, you're guaranteed to have a good race, as long as you're not taken out or you don't bin it, of course. But yeah, we're going to Interlagos this week. Now, in-game start time is very early in the morning, so it's around 7 a.m. And the conditions are, once again, overcast. So you don't have to worry about, the sun making the track extremely hot, because it won't, because there's just clouds everywhere at the moment this week for some reason. Don't know why, but it might just be the time of year. Yeah, track temperature is going to be nice and low for this one, so you don't need to worry about it in the Open or the Fixed or the 6 hour. None of those races are really going to have super high track temp. The 6 hour, it might raise a little bit, because obviously it's going to be 6 hours of race length, and it starts at like 7:30 in the morning, so it's going to give the sim time for the sun to try and break through those clouds. But yeah, I don't see it getting that hot, to be honest with you. And there's no chance of rain as well, so no chance of rain at Interlagos. But there's not too much to say about this. It's IMSA, it's Interlagos, no chance of rain. Track conditions will be pretty decent because of the overcast weather. And yeah, I think participation levels should be fairly decent, because I believe most people on this sim have this track anyways. It's a very popular track to have. So yeah, IMSA this week at Interlagos should be good fun. All right then, let's have a broader look with what is available on iRacing for this week's Week 10, which I'm fully expecting some sort of update from the iRacing dev team. I think they normally put out like a blog on the forums, and it should give us kind of like an insight of what to expect during Week 13 and next season, what kind of content we're going to get. And it's always an exciting time to see what is going to be coming to the service. But anyways, let's have a broader look about what's available for this week on iRacing. So let's go through it, shall we? We'll start off with the Ringmeister. At the moment, it's LMP2, which is pretty cool. You're going to get the TCRs this week, so maybe a chance for people to give the TCRs a go, because they're not the most popular in the world. But yeah, I do tend to find them quite enjoyable, but there's just not that many people actually race them. Radicals is going to COTA, so that's Circuit of the Americas. Usual layout. IMSA Vintage Series, you're going to go to Fuji International Speedway with no chicane. Okay, that is the better layout if you ask me. GTEs, at the moment, you are at Le Mans. You're going to end up going to Interlagos as well. So another series that is heading to Interlagos for this week. Now, the Ferrari 296 Challenge, you are off to Mount Panorama. So you'll be at Bathurst as well. Interested. They will be so quick. They will be so quick coming down the mountain. The speeds those things are going to get is going to be crazy. It's going to be very interesting to see. The Advanced Mazdas, you're going to go to the Red Bull Ring. It's hard really to find a track where the Mazdas don't work. They probably work, well, at every track, to be honest with you. Supercars, you are going to go to Miami International Autodrome, and it's going to be the Grand Prix layout as well, so no short version for you to have to worry about. Production Car Challenge, you are off to this week's. You are off to Brands Hatch. So you're off to Brands Hatch. Should be fairly decent. It's a thin track, so multi-class there. Could be a little bit of a pain, but, I've seen LMP3s and GT4s do it there, so why can't you guys do it too? Global Sports Car Challenge, Watkins Glen International. That is the boot layout for this week. Now, the Falcon Sports Car Challenge. This will be the GT4s and the LMP3s. You're going to Algarve this week, which is a pretty damn good track if you ask me. I do enjoy racing around there quite a bit. Proto GT, where are you off to? You're off to Le Mans this week. The historic layout as well, so no chicane. So you're going to get some serious speeds down the Mulsanne. You're going to get some really good speeds down there. GT3 Asia Tour, you were off to Mount Panorama. I really should have just seen that. Should have seen that a mile away. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Americas, you are off to the Mexican Grand Prix for this week. And then the European Tour, you're going to Monza. Okay, that'll be interesting. I always like it when the GT3s go to Monza. One of my preferred combos. I do think it's an awful lot of fun. Now, let's have a quick browse at the Formula Car Series, shall we? We'll start off by looking at the F4 stuff. F4 fixed, you're going to go to Suzuka. That is the East Circuit. I think it's a very short layout, isn't it? Yes, very short indeed. 9 corners, though, and a very short lap. So that's kind of... The way to look at that is it's a bit of an SR grind. If you are stuck with the SR in open formula, which it shouldn't be too difficult to get anyways, that is going to be really handy to do because there's a lot of corners, very short lap times, and yeah, that should help you get your SR up, of course, as long as you don't go off. The regional tours, Stop the Asia, F4 is going to Mount Panorama. Again, could have seen that. That'll be interesting, F4 cars there. That'll be super, super quick. Hockenheim for the European Tour. And then last but not least, what about the Americas Tour? You're going to go to Long Beach there. Right, F3, Formula C. Mount Panorama at the moment, you're going to go to the Mexican Grand Prix, the historic layout. And then Super Formula Lights, where are you off to this week? You're going to Miami International Autodrome, and you're using the Grand Prix layout as well. Indy Next Series, the road fixed. Where are you off to? You are off to Fuji International Speedway with no chicane yet again. Now, let's have a quick look at the IndyCar stuff. So, IndyCar, let's have a look. Oval Series, you are off to Phoenix Raceway for this week, and then have a quick look at NASCAR stuff. Hope your Daytona 500s went well, by the way. I ended up doing 3 attempts. Best I got was P2, and I was inches away from winning it, but it was a great race, and I really enjoyed it. Daytona 500 never disappoints. Really enjoy it. The trucks, you're going to Echo Park Speedway, Atlanta, and I assume that's going to be the same for the Open. Yep, of course. What about the next gens you are off to? Again, Atlanta as well. Is that the same for the O'Reillys? It is indeed. So you're all basically going to the same track next week. Well, what can I say about this week? I mean, it's one of those special event weeks, so it's very much kind of focused and more just everyone's going to be looking at Bathurst, if I'm being honest with you. It's very Bathurst heavy, and that's fine. It's a special event this week. It only happens once a year, the Bathurst 12 hour, so make the most of it. I can kind of understand why they picked the car so much. I don't think it's like Daytona, where like everything was at Daytona. You know, I think there's only one extra series that's really going there in terms of like sports car stuff, which is the GT3 I think the Asia Tour. You don't really need to worry about that because there's going to be plenty of variety this week. You've got the Porsche Cup at Sebring, and you've got the IMSA stuff as well, and the GT4s at LMP3s. Sports car, yeah, it's not too bad. Same with the Formula Car stuff as well, and NASCAR. It's okay. It's a pretty decent week. If you're not really into Bathurst this week, you might struggle a little bit, in my opinion. But if you're into Bathurst, I think you can have a lot of fun this week. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, make sure you leave a like on the way out. It does help this channel out a lot. Do subscribe as well, of course. And I'll catch you for next week's episode. Take care. Have a good one. Good luck.